Fateh. Well, Satsangaji, it's such an honor and a privilege that we have this time to share with each other and to talk about the strength of Khalsa during these times. As we know that we're facing a lot of challenges as Sangit, we're facing challenges just in the world itself. And it's such an important time that we look at our devotion. You know, devotion is a divine ocean. It's vast, it's large, it's huge. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sachipatisha gave us such a beautiful understanding of the vastness of all creation and how we as humans fit into that vastness, how we are within that. And the importance of our devotion at these times. It's important to understand that we have to stay centered and very balanced and very clear. And the strength of Khalsa comes through that clarity. If we're not clear in our own minds, if we say things like, well, I'm confused about this, or I don't know something about that, as soon as we trigger our mind in that way, immediately that brings up doubt. Immediately that brings up an insecurity. But Gurus have taught us that we should be strong, courageous, kind, compassionate. We should have all those qualities. We know that Khalsa means those who live to the purity of that understanding of the grace of life and who serve all equally so that we can create a better world. And our Gurus wanted us to create that better world. So we have the two parts of that. We have the one part, it's creating a better self. So the technology and the science that Guru has taught to us, that first part is so that we within our own selves can become more balanced, more clear, more centered. And through our devotion and trust in God and trust in Guru, that we can see the pathway of this life. So Guru gives us all that instruction. Guru gives us that way to live, the way of life. And that starts in Amrit Vela, that starts in the early morning. That starts with preparing ourselves. So first I'm talking individually. That the strength of us lies in that individual commitment that we have at the feet of the Guru. That individual commitment, Guru says, go within one's own self. That living light, that jyot, that truth that lives in you has to be realized. And that ties in with all those aspects of self-love and self-acceptance, all of those things. And Guru says, how do we achieve that? We achieve that when we vibrate the Naam, Vaheguru, 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 as that vibrates within us. As we practice, as we relax, as we let the vibration of the nod, of the current of sound vibration through the Shabad to go very deep inside of us, to create a healthy body, to create a strong mind that is clear and intuitive, and to create that spiritual connection that is so important. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught that simple understanding, I call the one foot in and the one foot out. And the one foot in is that we live, Kirti Guru, that we live in this world, in this society, and we do our work and our jobs, our families, all those things. But that other foot is that foot into our spirituality, is that foot into our devotion, in that divine ocean, that Sagar, that huge ocean, so that we can find a daily balance. In these times, through these changes, we have to change as the times change. Otherwise, we get caught in the wheel of the time. And when we get caught in the wheel of the time, and the times are forcing us to change, and we get caught in that wheel, then that wheel wheels over us. And that's when we become uncertain, unstable, unclear, unsure of where we want to go. But I know that in my life, Guru has given exactly how to live, has given exactly the pathway to walk. And that pathway, my understanding, so that we don't fall into that negative mind. The negative mind itself takes us away from the joy of life, the spirit of life, the devotion of life. When we get into negativity, we get into some kind of depression. We can say, well, look at what is happening in this world. What can I do about it? But Guru teaches that we have everything to do about it. And the most important thing to do about it, one, is within ourselves to trust. Guru teaches us that trust. Guru's hukamnama every day is a hukamnama of trusting. That if we trust in as the Guru is speaking to us and guiding us, then depression can't touch us. Because we know the exact path, the exact dimension and direction that we need to go in. And that becomes our internal strength. That strength is how big my muscles are, is not how loud I can talk. Strength is within your devotion. And being devoted at the feet of the Guru, that Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru never leaves our breath, 24/7 is vibrated. And through Bani, when we read every day our Bani, that protects us. And that creates a stability within our mind that can never be shaken. Guru gave us exact technology. But we have to be strong physically, yes, and make sure that our nervous system, we eat properly, light food, sattvic diet, that we eat light foods. We have to exercise this body to keep it relaxed, to keep the circulation. If we're not exercising, whatever exercises you choose to do. So physically, we have to make sure that we stay relaxed and at ease, and we have good circulation, we're healthy, we're taking care of ourselves. That's very important. Second is our mind. Mind has to have this stability. And the stability of the mind comes through Simran. The stability of this mind, not to fall into any traps of the past, is to vibrate Vaheguru Satnam. Simran is so important. Bani gives the vibration of the consciousness of this mind of ours because it affects how our brain works. Normally, a person vibrates maybe 3.44 to 4.5 in the vibration of how the mind is computing. But as we build our practice of Simran and Gurbani, when we read every day our body, that brain power goes from that 4.5 to 9.5 in its frequency of how it computes and how it processes that which is coming in. It's that much of a difference, almost twice as much gives us into that brain power. It's been studied. And spiritually understanding that God is God. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said God is not outside of us. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said God is inside of us. And we experience that God. We all can experience that God. There has to be that balance between what we call finite, that which we know, this physical form that we have, and infinite, which is the cosmos, beyond self, where all knowledge is given, all understanding is given. And Guru has given us that conduit, or that pipeline, you can call it, to experience it. That's my experience. Because I understand that Guru has given me this great gift in this life to experience all that exists, finite physically and infinite beyond self. It's said in Gurbani that if we learn to understand what is the rhythm within us, then the unknown becomes known, the unseen becomes seen, and the unheard becomes heard. That is the power that we have in our strength as Khalsa. And through that connection individually, I said first is individual, and the second understanding then is Sangat. The power and strength that we have together as Sangat. And that should not be broken. And I know today I've been with our Sangats now over 40 years. And I see sometimes I don't like this one, I don't like that person, somebody said this thing, I heard somebody said that something about somebody else. We hear all these stories that separate us from each other. But Sangat has to be organized, has to come together, especially now. These changes that have happened over this last month and that have happened through this virus thing, and then what is happening now with the human rights issues, and all of that that's going on for all people. Remember that Guru Nanak Dev Ji came that 500 plus years. And when he came out from the water, he came from that river out, he said, there's no Muslim, there's no Hindu. Today he might say, there's no Hindu, there's no Muslim, there's no Sikh. That all people are created equally. We understand that, it's embedded within us. Guru Nanak Dev Ji stated that we should see the heart and the light in every person, no matter what their color, no matter what their creed, no matter what their gender, no matter what their religious belief is, no matter what their preference is, that every person, Ek Om God, that there's the one God, and we're all the same. And that came through each of our gurus. Again, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj solidified it within us. And that today is what this fight is for. Today, that's this human rights effort. That we should be able to see through these eyes, always through love, and see what is not different within us, but see what is the same. And now more important, to be with Sangat. And Sangat is tested because we can't be with each other yet. We're still a distance. But the vibration of Sangat is that we never leave each other's consciousness. We're never outside of that conscious awareness of Sangat. And we as Sangat have to put aside, well, you said this and he said that and I heard that and she wants it, and become one. And recognize the strength of Sangat. We have to recognize that through the individual, then we have that Sangat. That's part two. And when each of us have that clear understanding with us and we unite together as Sangat, then we have that strength as Sangat. To make a statement, to decide how are we going to stand up. We have to stand just as those martyrs and our gurus stood at that time against Mughals and stood their ground and sacrificed for the freedom of all people. We have to also stand today and be those freedom fighters and be known that Khalsa stands for truth, justice for all people. But we have to live that. There can't be that gap anymore. We can't say one thing and then do something else. We'll be tested under that as Sangat. We have to be clear and understand where we are. If we're not, then we're going to continue to be separated. And now is the time to unite. Consciousness goes in three parts. Starts with you as an individual. Joins together to have that experience as Sangat. And through Sangat at the feet of the Guru, we experience that consciousness. It is always going to go from individual to group to infinite. From each of us individually through Sangat to infinite consciousness and conscious awareness. And the teachings that we have and the knowledge embodied in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is to lead us to the universal truth. And that universal truth is what shall prevail in this world. So Satsangaji, I'm just sharing today a simple understanding as I interpret it and see it. This is how Guru keeps me always inspired. No matter what we have to face, no matter how hurt we may be inside of ourselves, no matter how physically hurt we may be inside, no matter how mentally I'm feeling today, this good or not good. Guru continually inspires to keep going because that mission is bigger than the individual. Our mission to spread light and peace, to teach Ekong God to the entire world, to make a statement of the strength of Khalsa in these times, which we are making, that is greater than just myself. Because my commitment that when I Amritchak, my commitment was to serve all Sangat. And my commitment I made consciously was to serve all humanity, to bring this world to that oneness and peace. And that is always the priority. And what gives that strength and inspiration, going back to our beginning today, is our devotion at the feet of Guru, is our practice, is our daily nitnem, is Simran, is keeping our body relaxed and at ease, so we have a good flow of energy within, eating properly. What is all this under one umbrella is called? Consciousness. Consciousness means having awareness. And I came to the feet of the Guru very young at 24 years old. And as soon as I Mattatake, I understood. Something inside, I don't know from where, said, this is it. These are the teachings that shall guide you to your commitment, which I made at 20 years old, to work for peace for the rest of my life on this planet. And when I came to the feet of the Guru, I understood this is the pathway. That the truth that Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought to enter the hearts of each of us, to give us this knowledge and this understanding and the daily guidance. And each of our Gurus built on that. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji gave us Adi Granth, put together the knowledge, the technology, and the vibration of Shabad Guru, so that we would never be let down, and that we would never let anybody else down. Gave us the principles. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj created Khalsa to bring all of that, of all the previous 9 Gurus, and the embodiment of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, so that we would never be alone, and we would never be in fear, and we would never feel that we didn't have the guidance of Guru. And when Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave us Guru Gadi of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, when made Guru Granth Sahib the Guru, and said, you'll find me in every ang of the Guru, and that each of us would be sovereign unto the Guru, each of us would have that relationship, and that we would never bow at the feet of a human. Because a human, why? Because we're a human being, we're limited. But Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is unlimited. We get caught by time and space. Every human. Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is timeless and spaceless, and is exact every time. And if we accept that and understand it in our truth, if we vibrate it in every cell of our being, and our practice is strong and our dedication, that devotion, that has to be primary. Sometimes we say, well, I have all these things. First I have my family, then I have my work, then I have my school, then I have this, then I have, and then somewhere 5, 6 down the line, then I have my relationship to Guru. Nay, ji, it's not going to work. Everything starts with our relationship to Guru. That is the beginning. Under that comes our families, our relations, our things, our futures, all of those things, our work, etc., etc. That is the umbrella that carries everything within us. And Guru says, what is the technology? 24 hours in the day? Guru says, give me that 10% only, I'm asking. Just give me the 10%, 2.4 hours of your day in the Amrit Vela before sun rises. So as the sun is rising, we rise with that sun. To set yourself, prepare yourself, cover yourself. 2.4 hours, 10% of our day, so that Guru can take care of the other 90% of the day for us. We don't have to worry about it. Guru is looking after that for us, is being taken care of for us. We don't have to fight it. And that is the flow of life. Guru connects us between the infinite flow within each of us and the infinite flow within the universe. We're each created with Panch Tattva, 5 elements, air, earth, water, fire, and ether. And this universe is contained with 5 elements, air, earth, water, fire, and ether. Is written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And that unification comes when those elements that exist within each of us are united with the elements of the universe. And the united aspect of that comes through the Shabad Guru, comes through the technology and the science of the vibration of the Shabad as we vibrate it, that connects us and all that's part of us. Guru Ram Das Ji said, and Guru Bani said, we have those senses, those 5 senses, and 5 elements. And the universe has those 5 senses and has those 5 elements. And Guru Bani is the pipeline, Shabad is the pipeline the vibration of the Shabaguru that connects and unites us so that we're vast beyond understanding. That's when that brain starts going forward. That's when we start thinking. That's when our intuitive mind becomes so deeply connected. It's at that exact point of time when it clicks in, that's it. I know it. Is done. Is taken care of. Is looked after. Immediately understood. And our strength will lie in that. Our strength has to lie in that truth of our heart. And as we unite together as Sangha in that truth of that heart, and as we serve humanity to bring this world to peace, I may not see it in my lifetime, but I'm thinking, what about our future generations? I see our children. I see our young people. I'm looking at those next generations so that we can help carve that pathway to freedom, which shall be. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji told us it shall be, that Khalsa shall rule. But Khalsa has to be Khalsa. Khalsa has to be Khalsa. Otherwise, what are we? And that compassion of our heart, clarity of our soul, the exact balance that we have in our lives is what creates our future. And that future uniting together shall create a bond that can never be broken. That is the power of Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. To never 24/7 should never leave your vibration. And as that vibrates within you, then everything else expands. We have a technology. Panchkakar is a technology. Panchbani is a technology. It's a way of living and relating. Bana, Bani, Seva, and Simran. 4 pillars. All those together add up. Be able to carry many with us and not be afraid. That is how we expand the vastness of our consciousness. That's how we come to the realization of the strength within us. That's how we follow this path. And then Guru says everything you need comes. Whatever it is. Prosperity, abundance, happiness, love, you name it. It all comes when we sit calmly, when we're steady in our devotion, when we have the strength of who we are as Khalsa. Then we have the stability to be trusted. We have to build trust within ourselves. We have to create trust with our Sangat. And we have to create a trust in this world. If we're not trusted, and what gives us the trust is not what we say, is what we do. That will build trust, or that will erode the trust. And it's a constant understanding. Guru says in Gurdwani, he says, you're going to make mistakes. Every human makes mistakes. We all do. What can we do? But Guru says, be strong, be stable, be true within yourself, and forgiveness. Forgive yourself and forgive others. We're together as a Sangat. We may not always love each other, may not always like each other. Somebody said this about that, somebody's doing, but we are Sangat when it comes to it. And Sangat has to be unified. The more divisive we become, the more weak we become. The stronger we come, the more unified we are, the greater we have that ability to serve. And my grasp on everything is to always serve the future generations. I'm thinking, I see your children, I see the young people, I see your children. I look at those children that are not born yet, and I say, that's who I'm serving. That's who I have been serving, will continue to serve, and shall serve, no matter where I am in this world or the next. And that's a simple commitment. Now that's my personal commitment. I'm sharing that. So Satsangaji, it is a great privilege I've had to be with you today. And I'm talking a little different to you today. Because my prayer for you, my ardas for all of us, is that we come to this truth and realization. And we don't become afraid of what our tomorrow is. And we don't stand in fear of our future. And we don't let that future erode us and take us down. We have to be strong. We have to be unified. We have to understand the mission that Guru has given to us. Whether we're born into it at the feet of the Guru, or whether, as many of us, we've come to the feet of the Guru by some great good fortune, but we got here. Either born to it, or somehow we were brought to it, but we are here together. And Khalsa has no geography. Khalsa is everywhere. Khalsa has no color. Khalsa has no gender. Khalsa has no, it's only can be this place, not that place. We're universal people. And everything that the Gurus have brought forward is the technology and the science that so many people today are searching for. So Satsangaji, let us be strong in our commitment. Let us not be afraid of our future. Let us not be afraid of our tomorrow. Let us live in the purity. Let us live in the light. Let us live in the devotion at the feet of the Guru. Remember, that devotion is that divine ocean. Let us not be afraid to live our truth. Let us not be afraid to forgive ourselves, to forgive others. And may Guru always reside in our hearts. Satsangaji, our ardas for prayers of peace for this world, for this planet, for those who are martyring themselves at this time to awaken this world, that peace has to prevail, that tolerance and acceptance of all people has to be the way of life, and that war will not bring peace. Violence will not bring peace. Peace will come through the consciousness of all humanity. And the spirit of Khalsa is to share in that, to become leaders within that, and to never have fear. Otherwise, we bring sorrow into our tomorrow. We want to bring light, that jyot, to this world. Satsangaji, thank you so much. May Guru bless you. May your hearts be opened. And may you realize the living light, that jyot that shines in your heart, in your soul, and in your spirit. May Khalsa rule. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.